quality of education has plummeted in this country. There's a newly released video of a teacher from the San Marco Unified School District, this is in California, you'll be shocked to hear, yelling at her students over distance learning and other issues. This was posted to Facebook. Apparently it's a common occurrence. Take a listen to what your children are being taught in the virtual classroom.
My question is, in your case, where is the white student union? Because we need all races for equality.
You don't need a white student union, Jake. Oh. You get everything.
If your parent wants to talk to me about their profession and their opinion on their profession, I would love to hear that. I know very little about anything else in the world other than education, okay? However, if your parent wants to come talk to me about how I'm not doing a good enough job in distance learning based on what you need as an individual, just dare them to come at me. Because I am so sick to my stomach of parents trying to tell educators how to do their job. I have never once gone to a doctor's appointment and tried to tell my medical health provider how to treat me. You know why? Because I know nothing about that. I didn't get my degree in medicine.
I know nothing about that. I know very little about anything in the world. Those are true statements, I would suspect. Not the sort of thing you want to hear your kid's teacher say. Look, I know very little about anything in the world other than education. You see the problem, right? Education is an instrument to convey all that other knowledge you know about everything in the world to a student, right? You're supposed to know a lot of things, like, dates and battles and the books and stuff. You're supposed to know all that. And then education is the process by which you convey all of that knowledge, which this woman admits she doesn't have, to a student, which is why she doesn't do it very well. She also doesn't seem to be particularly talented at the education part of it. Right? If you're screaming at students and you're parroting a typical left-wing racialist line that we need to have racial grievance groups and racial unions for every racial group, except for white people, the awful, terrible white people. And then to make this point about education that is so elementary, but she just doesn't understand it, which is she says, your parents have no role in your education. I, crazy, ignorant lady, I am going to be your educator. I, who haven't cultivated my upper will and intellect, I, who am given away to wrath and invective, I will educate you, and how dare your parents suggest they have any say in it. But of course, the family is the first place that education happens. I'm not just talking about for homeschoolers or people who have some very solid view of the world. I'm saying for everybody. The best lessons you ever learned in your life, really the enduring lessons that you learned. Maybe some you learned in school. I learned some great lessons in school. But really those enduring lessons that have really shaped my life, beyond even the technical aspects of learning how to write, learning how to read history, the ones that really shape how you are educated, meaning the whole person, the way you are raised up, where did you learn those? You learn those at home, of course. And parents ought to have some say in their child's education. This was one of the premises of William F. Buckley Jr.'s famous book that launched the post-war conservative movement, God and Man at Yale, that parents, trustees, people outside of the education system ought to exert power on that education system. Is that going to be a cultural power or a political power? We're talking about a public school here. So it would seem that it's a little bit of both, isn't it? Certainly, whatever parents are living in this school district ought to exert a lot of political power to make sure that their students aren't being educated by people like this crazy lady. How are the teachers getting away with it? The teachers are getting away with this sort of thing because of the lockdowns, because they get to teach from distance learning, and they have a lock on these kids. They've clearly gone a little bit kookier than usual even, and they're just sitting in their homes saying and spouting off on whatever they want. I hope you enjoyed that clip from The Michael Knowles Show. To check out the full episode, hit the link in the description or download The Michael Knowles Show wherever you listen to podcasts.